So there's approximately 750,000 Sikhs in the United States that work in a diverse range of professions, but I'll start today by speaking about Sikh truck drivers. Punjabi Sikhs began entering the US trucking industry in large numbers during the 1980s, and Sikh truck drivers and business owners have played a critical role in addressing driver shortages over the past several years. Unfortunately, Sikhs in this critical industry have become the subject of harmful rhetoric and policy from this current administration. This is often presented as being in the best interest of improving road safety, but in actuality, it's aimed at removing immigrant drivers from the roads and the workforce. On September 29th, the administration published an interim final rule that barred broad categories of immigrants who are legally and lawfully present in the United States and those who hold work authorization. That includes DACA recipients, asylum seekers, asylees, refugees, and others from holding commercial driver's licenses or CDLs. These drivers are being excluded solely because of their specific immigration status, and regardless of their driving histories, skills, knowledge, or English proficiency. In the interim final rule, the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration acknowledged that there is no data indicating that excluding these drivers will impact any safety outcomes. As a result of the rule, 194,000 drivers were expected to lose their livelihoods over the next 2 years as their licenses come up for renewal. The Sikh Coalition, along with our co-counsel, Asian Law Caucus, and other Sikh organizations, filed an amicus brief in support of a lawsuit challenging this rule. On November 13th, a judge stayed the IFR, finding that the FMCSA, quote, did not appear to have shown that the rule would produce any net safety benefit, and that, quote, FMCA's own data appears to indicate that CDL holders excluded by the rule involved in fatal crashes are at a lower rate than CDL holders who are not excluded. Unfortunately, the FMCSA simply reissued their IFR as a final rule, which went into effect on March 16th. The final rule is substantively the same as the IFR, with a catastrophic effect for tens of thousands of drivers and families. A lawsuit challenging this remains pending. Furthermore, Congress has additionally moved to target immigrant drivers. In a State of the Union address, President Trump called on legislators to pass Delilah's Law, which he said would prevent, quote, illegal immigrants from obtaining CDLs. This is, of course, already illegal. Nevertheless, several lawmakers have introduced bills called Delilah's Law, but they go well beyond the president's direction. The most recently marked up version of the bill, H.R. 5688, would replicate the same restrictions on who can obtain CDLs in the United States as the IFR and final rule, meaning that it does not stop, quote, illegal immigrants, but instead bars qualified drivers who are legally authorized to be and work in the United States. We urge Congress to engage in an honest conversation about the bill's actual contents, and ultimately to oppose it and any other bill that punishes immigrant drivers who are here following the rules and keeping our economy moving. Finally, before I conclude, I'd like to speak about one additional, often marginalized segment of the workforce among the Sikh community, and those are religious workers who come from abroad to serve US-based communities. These individuals, including Sikh granthis or religious teachers, come from Punjab in India to serve our gurdwaras, Sikh houses of worship, and are often in the United States on R1 religious worker visas. The R1 visa, however, requires the holders to exit the United States after being here for 5 years, causing significant disruption to the individuals themselves and the communities that they serve. The Department of Homeland Security recently made a positive change to R1 policy. While holders still have to exit the United States after 5 years, they no longer have to stay out for a minimum period of 1 year. We support this change, but a bipartisan proposal currently exists in Congress. The Religious Workforce Protection Act, or S1298, and HR 2672 would make further necessary reforms. Most notably, under its terms, R1 visas could be extended until holders achieve legal permanent resident status. This would ensure continuity for the congregation served by these religious workers and a profound sense of security for the holders themselves. Thank you for your consideration. Ultimately, we call on you all to oppose Delilah's Law and to support the Religious Workforce Protection Act. Thank you.